Princess Michael of Kent born Baroness Marie Christine Anna Agnes Hedwig Ida von Reibnitz, on the 15th of January 1945 in Karlsbad, a town then in German-populated Sudetenland, now known as Karlovy Vary in the Czech Republic. She is a member of the British royal family who is of German, Austrian, Czech and Hungarian descent. She is married to Prince Michael of Kent, who is a grandson of King George V. She was born at the family estates of her Austrian maternal grandmother, Princess Hedwig von Windisch-Grätz, shortly before the defeat of Nazi Germany and end of the Second World War in Europe. The expulsion of Germans from Czechoslovakia followed later that year. She is the daughter of Baron Gunther von Reibnitz and his wife Countess Maria Schopri von Morasomba. Princess Michael's father was a Nazi Party member and served as a cavalry officer in the Waffen-SS during the Second World War. In response to the advances of the Red Army near the end of the war, the family abandoned their estates and moved to Bavaria, which was part of the American-occupied zone of Germany. Her parents divorced in 1946 and, along with her mother and elder brother Baron Friedrich von Reibnitz, Princess Michael moved to Australia, where she was educated at Convent of the Sacred Heart, Rose Bay, now Kinkoppel Rose Bay. In the early 1960s, she lived with her father on his farm in Portuguese-ruled Mozambique. She then went from Vienna to London to study history of fine and decorative art at the Victoria and Albert Museum. Her first husband was the English banker Thomas Trubridge. They met at a boar hunt in Germany and were married on the 14th of September 1971 at Chelsea Old Church, London. The couple separated in 1973 and were civilly divorced in 1977. The marriage was ecclesiastically annulled by Pope Paul VI in May 1978. 1 month after the annulment, on the 30th of June 1978, at a civil ceremony in Vienna, Austria, she married Prince Michael of Kent, the son of Prince George, Duke of Kent, and Princess Marina of Greece and Denmark. Prince Michael is a grandson of King George V. Marie Christine has named Lord Mountbatten as their matchmaker. Michael presented Marie Christine with a two-stone sapphire and diamond ring made from stones that belonged to his mother, Princess Marina. For the ball held after the wedding, she wore the City of London diamond French tiara and a cream dress from Belleville Sassoon. Upon their marriage, she was accorded the style and title of Her Royal Highness Princess Michael of Kent, the female equivalent to her husband's title. After receiving Pope John Paul II's permission, the couple later received a blessing of their marriage in a Roman Catholic ceremony on the 29th of June 1983 at Archbishop's House, London. Since the Act of Settlement 1701 prohibited anyone who married a Roman Catholic from succeeding to the throne, Prince Michael of Kent at that time, 15th in the line of succession, lost his succession rights upon marrying Marie Christine. Prince Michael was reinstated to the line of succession to the British throne on the 26th of March 2015 with the passing of the Succession to the Crown Act 2013. Their children are members of the Church of England and have retained their rights of succession since birth. Prince and Princess Michael of Kent have 2 children. Lord Frederick Windsor, born the 6th of April 1979 at St. Mary's Hospital, London. Lady Gabriella Kingston, born the 23rd of April 1981 at St. Mary's Hospital, London. Marie Christine was linked romantically by the press to John Warner and tycoons Ward Hunt and Mikhail Kravchenko. She also had a friendship with John W. Galbraith and Peter de Savary, the latter of whom gifted her a £150,000 parcel of land on Antigua. In 1985, Marie Christine was hospitalized for 1 week to undergo treatments for nervous exhaustion. Before her marriage to Prince Michael, she worked as an interior designer. According to a report in the Observer's Pendennis column in September 2007, the princess resumed decorating under her original company, Chapard Designs. In 1986, her first book, Crowned in a Far Country, Portraits of 8 Royal Brides, was published, after which she faced allegations of plagiarism and reached an out-of-court settlement with another author. Her second book, Cupid and the King, 5 Royal Paramours, faced the same issues, which the princess attributed to the researcher, who had allegedly submitted notes without due attribution. The book was to be published by Michael Joseph, but after the draft was submitted several months late, it was rejected and published by HarperCollins. From 2007 to 2011, the princess served as president of Partridge Fine Art, a gallery in London's New Bond Street, until it went into administration, having suffered substantial multi-year losses. In 2008 the princess was engaged as a consultant by Galerie Gmerzinska in Switzerland, and later became their international ambassador. She also served on the board of the Victoria and Albert Museum, and goes on lecture tour around the world where she talks about historical subjects at universities, museums and galleries to promote her books and endorse her charities. Prince and Princess Michael represented the Queen at the Belize independence celebrations and at the coronation of King Mswati III of Eswatini. Prince Michael also supports a large number of charities and organizations, and Princess Michael supports him in his work since she was a teenager. Princess Michael has held a long and enduring passion for the conservation of cheetahs, and she is international royal patron for the Cheetah Conservation Fund in Namibia. She is a Fellow of the Linnean Society of London, a learned society dedicated to natural history and taxonomy. Prince Michael has never received a parliamentary annuity or an allowance from the Privy Purse. The couple have had the use of a 5-bedroom, 5-reception grace and favour apartment at Kensington Palace. Queen Elizabeth II had paid the rent for the apartment at a market rate of £120,000 annually from her own private funds, with the couple paying the nominal amount of £70 per week. The rent goes to the grant in aid provided by the government for the maintenance of the occupied royal palaces. The rent is based on the current rate for commercially rented properties at Kensington Palace, and is recorded in the overall figures for commercial rents in the Grant in Aid annual report. This rent payment by the Queen is in recognition of the royal engagements and work for various charities, which Prince and Princess Michael of Kent have undertaken at their own expense, and without any public funding, according to a statement released by the British Monarchy Media Centre. In 2008 it was announced that it had been agreed that Prince and Princess Michael would pay rent of £120,000 a year from their own funds from 2010. Members of Parliament on the Public Accounts Committee had demanded the change after the Kents' rent had come to light. The Kents have lived in the apartment since 1979, paying only their utility bills prior to 2002. The princess has a controversial history of statements and actions that have been accused of being racist. The media claimed she once declared to an American fashion magazine that she had more royal blood in her veins than any person to marry into the royal family since Prince Philip. After being told about Princess Michael's lineage by Lord Mountbatten, Queen Elizabeth II reportedly joked that she was a bit too grand for us. In 2004 she was accused of racially insulting black diners at a restaurant in New York. A spokesperson acknowledged that the princess had been angry at the group, who were seated at a table near her, but denied that she had told them to go back to the colonies. In an interview with the newspaper she reflected on her encounter with a group of rappers, which in fact included the TV reporter A.J. Calloway as well as a banker, a lawyer, and a music mogul. In September 2005 she talked to Mazhar Mahmood, a News of the World journalist posing as a fake sheik and potential beer for Nether Lippiat Manor, Princess Michael and her husband's country home at the time. The princess shared her opinions on Diana, Princess of Wales, describing her as a bitter and nasty woman. She went on to say that Charles, Prince of Wales, was jealous of his former wife's popularity, and that he had effectively married a womb. She also added that the prince's Duchy Originals jams were not homemade. He's got factories. It's just got his name on it. On hearing that, research by Dorothy Cheney and Robert Seyfarth seemed to indicate that rank among female baboons is hereditary, the princess is reported to have said, "I always knew that when people who aren't like us claim that hereditary rank is not part of human nature, they must be wrong. Now you've given me evolutionary proof." Princess Michael of Kent is a Roman Catholic, and attended several events during Pope Benedict XVI's state visit to the United Kingdom in September 2010. On the last day of the Pope's visit, the 19th of September, she attended the open-air Mass of Beatification for Cardinal John Henry Newman at Cofton Park, Birmingham. Princess Michael was personally involved in the beatification process and attended several other celebrations relating to his beatification before and after the Cofton Park Mass, including a commemorative concert of the Dream of Gerondis at Birmingham Town Hall on the 18th of September. She also attended a civic dinner with invited dignitaries and bishops in Birmingham, before attending the Mass and meeting the Pope previously. In November 2008 the princess attended the translation of remains of Cardinal Newman at Birmingham Oratory along with other guests of honor, including Francis Campbell, HM Ambassador to the Holy See, the Lord Mayor of Birmingham and Lady Mayoress Sir Ivor Roberts, President of Trinity College, Oxford, and formerly British Ambassador to Italy, and Sir Derek Morris, Provost of Oriel College, Oxford. After the translation Mass, Princess Michael was shown round Cardinal Newman's room and chapel and visited Newman's library. Princess Michael of Kent represented the Duke of Edinburgh at the launching ceremony of the Green Pilgrimage Network in Assisi, Italy, on the 1st of November 2011. It was organized by the Alliance of Religions and Conservation ARC, founded by the Duke of Edinburgh in 1995 in association with the Worldwide Fund for Nature WWF, of which Prince Philip was formerly president. The princess spoke on behalf of the Duke of Edinburgh and led the opening procession. In January 2014, the princess was interviewed by Conrad Black. She described the older generation of the royal family as boring for most people. Princess Michael also said that she was very fond of Diana, Princess of Wales, but also stated that she had little education, and both she and Sarah, Duchess of York, were abandoned by their mothers at a young age, which made it hard for them to deal with their status as royal figures. In September 2015, the princess was in the news for stating publicly that animals do not have rights because they do not pay taxes, have bank accounts, or vote. In December 2017, Christein was criticized for wearing a blackamoor brooch with a stylized figure of an African man to a Christmas banquet at Buckingham Palace. Meghan Markle, later the Duchess of Sussex, a mixed-race American woman of African and European descent, and at the time the fiancée of Prince Harry, was present at the dinner. A spokesperson for the princess later said that she is very sorry and distressed that it has caused offense. In April 2018, her daughter's former partner, Agnes, alleged that the princess had owned a pair of black sheep that she named after Venus and Serena Williams. In May 2021, it was reported that Princess Michael was suffering from blood clots after being diagnosed with COVID-19 6 months earlier. She is known to have suffered from lung issues in her childhood. On the 2nd of July 2024, The Times published a letter to the editor, co-signed by Princess Michael of Kent and other Catholic and non-Catholic public figures, calling upon the Holy See to preserve what they describe as the magnificent cultural artifact of the Catholic Church's traditional Latin Mass. Since her marriage to Prince Michael, Christein has been styled as Her Royal Highness Princess Michael of Kent, as Prince Michael was the only male-line grandson of King George V not granted a royal peerage on marriage. The feminine style of Prince Michael of Kent was adopted.